All right, time to take you guys through Game 4 of the tournament. I'm up against Orcs and Goblins, as you can see here. Now, my opponent is my buddy Ryan, and to give you guys a bit of background on him, he's a regular practice partner of mine. I go around to his place, and he comes around to my place quite a lot to play games. In practice for the tournament, I basically have been practicing the one list. He tried out an army which is mainly Goblin Wolf Riders and Goblin Chariots, and he was going to submit that list, but it didn't have enough points to get to 2250, so he changed it around instead to put some some Savage Orc Boar Boys and a Black Orc War Boss and a Wyvern in his list, and with those additions, it actually has become quite hard for me to beat him in practice. We played one game, and I did manage to win just out of luck, really, and a bad decision by him, but just in general, unfortunately, my army doesn't have a lot to deal with Tetera for the Wyvern, and obviously he's got a lot of redirecting units to get in the way of my knights. Obviously, the knights are quite difficult for him to deal with his infantry, but with the addition of the Wyvern, things are a little bit different. So let's see how the game plays out. As you can see here, I've deployed with knights on either flank, and I've got my infantry in the centre and cavalry units on either side. Now, he's got that Pipes of Doom, or whatever it is called, on his goblin character riding a squig. So if he comes in range with that, all of my units, my important stuff, have to take a panic test, even the characters and units. And that's really annoying, although I do have a good chance of passing those tests with Leadership 8 with a reroll thanks to the Will of Chaos special rule, so that's quite good. But still, it's kind of annoying if anything fails that check, because he's basically just got a free unit out of the game for like 2 or 3 turns. Anyway, next photo, you can see the left-hand flank. I put down the knights with the general and the chariot and the other light cavalry around the side. Photo after that, we've got Marauder infantry in the middle, along with the mages and infantry on the other side, and the war shrine there. And he's got most of his stuff hidden behind a hill, ready to either pass or fail animosity checks, as the case may be, including his Wyvern, which is pretty cool. So he's really bulked up that flank, really to just wipe out the knights straight away or whatever he can. And unfortunately, there's not too much I can do about that. Had to put the knights somewhere, and I've ended up placing them on the left-hand flank, so he's countered doing so like that. Next photo, he wins the roll for the first turn, fortunately for him, and moves out with a lot of Goblin infantry. Didn't fail any animosity checks, I believe, and just hanging back behind the hill with his Boar Boys and his Wyvern. Next photo, you can see him gearing up to get in my way over on the right-hand side flank, and he's moved his Swig Hoppers into the corner just so that he can keep them out of the way for now and bring them in later when he wants to attack. So fairly sensible stuff. Next picture, I move out in response with my Chaos Knight unit into the side. I just really wanted to keep them alive for as long as I could, and what I've done here is to put the Warhounds in such a way that they can redirect any sort of charge coming in from the Wolf Boys in the background. Now, I planned this in such a way that if the Warhounds fled, the Wolf Boys wouldn't actually hit the chariot, but unfortunately I got that slightly wrong, so as we'll see in the following turns, it ended up being a bit of a mishap for me. Next photo, on the right-hand side flank, my knights moving around with the Marauders just behind them. The reason I've done that is so that I could put the Marauder, the Chaos Sorcerer on their flank, like in that unit, so that if the Wolf Boys decide to charge around, they can't really make it because the knights are in the way, but at the same time the sorcerer can actually see the goblin unit. Next photo, what happens here is that the Warhounds flee and the Goblin Wolf Boys get past the knights into the chariot. Now, I didn't intend for that to happen. It's just sort of bad sort of placement, and there's sort of the tiny minute little things which come about with ranges and so forth, and probably should have just really made sure by keeping it a bit further back. But unfortunately, as you can see here, I've got a whole unit of Wolf Boys against my chariot. Chariot, still, like 4 attacks at strength 5 with the Halberds, plus 2 strength 4 attacks from the horses. Could do a bit of damage, but unfortunately didn't manage to win this combat, and really unluckily I managed to break without really killing enough guys to give myself a good run for my money there, unfortunately. Next photo, Squig Hoppers moving back into the game, into the ruins there, just ready to attack the knights, so might want to counter that by bring my BSB over to the right-hand side if I've got a turn to do that in. Next photo, you can see the Marauder cavalry just charging around to clip the Wolf Boys on the flank. And yeah, he's using a chariot as a unit filler for that unit, but able to bring it. Technically, that unit should be just the wolf boys at the back should be moved over so that all in base contact with the marauders. Unfortunately, didn't win that combat either. Having pretty bad luck in the combats throughout this game so far, and unfortunately, things not going too well. And he's got a chariot there ready to whack me as well, so things going pretty badly. He's even got a squig hopper in the background, as you can see, ready to get in the way of my knights. Next photo, he's moved again here, just with redirecting moves, getting stuff in the way. I've moved my Marauder Cavalry around so I can get some spells off, but even spells not doing that well. In the background, he's got his Wyvern, not actually in that position, it's actually meant to be right on the corner of the hill. So he's getting ready to charge my knights, so he's faced the Wyvern towards the left-hand side of the table. Next photo again. What happens here is that the boar boys, rather than rolling a 1 for their animosity test, rolled a 6, so they went up over the hill, forcing them to charge the knights. He attempted to charge the knights as well with the wyvern, and was, right sort of in between in range and out of range. It was about like a fraction of an inch in it. So we had a bit of an argument about it, and then we decided to 4+ it, which went in my favour. So the wyvern failed its charge, but it didn't matter, because the knights did so badly in combat that they actually lost to the boar boys, even though I had my general in that unit. Now, I must say that I was lucky to save all the armor saves that he inflicted with his boar boys and his boars. Everything on 3+, and he need 3+ to wound, 4+ to hit, so a lot of attacks going off there. He should have got 1 or 2 kills with the knights, but I didn't get anything back. Even though I saved the armor, and I didn't even kill anything with my general either with his 5 attacks, so really annoying. And then when it was like a break test to hold on leadership 7, I failed that as well, losing all of the knights, so really unfortunate that happened. And of course him charging in the background with the chariot, wiping out the marauders as well, so that's pretty much ruined my little game there. I was hoping to do a bit better with those knights and at least slow his wyvern down for a while. Next photo, you can see my other unit of knights is really just getting redirected all over the show and having to reposition itself. So I'm not really achieving anything on the right-hand side flank. The square coffers are moved around in front of the warhounds as well. And as you can see, it's quite difficult, even though I've got a very powerful unit of knights with a war banner, it's quite difficult for me to do anything against his army when he's passing all of his animosity checks, because I get redirected quite a lot. And unfortunately, I'm not able to really capitalize on having a good right flank. Next photo, the Goblin Wolf Boys moving in the way of the Chaos Warriors on foot. Starting to get a bit worried about this unit because the Wyvern's going to come back my way and terror them. I've got a Sorcerer there though, so able to actually just keep moving forward and keep this unit alive for now. Not much they can do in terms of their choppiness though. They've got no real target for that because everything keeps running away from them. Next photo, turned around with the Knights, ready to just move after the Square Coppers, and I've moved over with the Chaos Warriors with Halberds into the centre there. They've chased away the Goblin Wolf Boys who have rallied inside difficult ground. So it's going to be a bit annoying to try and take care of them now that they're in difficult ground. It's going to be much harder for me to chase after them. Next photo, his Wyvern is back, luckily passing my cherry check for the Chaos Warriors, but the War Shrine is unfortunately in its sights now, so he can easily charge the War Shrine and kill it. War Shrine is again, like the rest of my army, undivided, so I've got nothing to stop him from terroring me. Next photo, all of his other units are moving back around the board, so it's clear that I'm losing this game quite badly. Really just trying to conserve points at this stage, but he's got a lot of stuff circling around, and again, consistent with his animosity rolls. Next photo, I moved the Sorcerer into the wood to get him out of trouble, but the minute I do that, he moves in with his Goblin on the squig, as well as his Goblin running a Wolf. You can see the White Wolf in the back of the forest there, with One Hit Wonder, which does strength 10 hits, so nothing I can do about that. Sorcerer doesn't really have a chance against either of these little units in the forest, so I just tried to get some spells off, but with no success. Next photo, the Wyvern charges the War Shrine, which runs away. The Chaos Warriors with Halberds just move a bit closer to the ruins there. And what's happened is the BSB is charged out on his own to attack the Goblin Wolf Riders. Now, he's got +1 combat res due to his banner, and he's capable of doing wounds to them, but they've got static combat res of 3 or 4, so he's really relying on his break test rerolls to be able to stick in there and try and get some points out of them. In the meantime, the Knights with the war banner just moving out of the way of the Wyvern. Next photo, what happens here is that the Marauders are trying to move out of the way and into a table quarter, but they get charged in the flank by a unit of Goblin Wolf Boys, which really is a very risky strategy for him because he needed to get several wounds and break me. I had a banner and outnumber versus his flank, and the Marauders are quite capable of doing wounds to the Goblins and the Wolves, but he totally lucked it in this combat, unfortunately, and took a couple of casualties here, failed my break test, and I just ran. So another piece of bad luck, really annoying in that situation. Next photo, what's happened here is the Wolf Boys, having killed those Marauders, charged into the flank of this Goblin, the flank of the infantry unit with Chaos Warriors, and the Wyvern charges in as well, so pretty much demolishing them very easily. In the meantime, the BSB is still slugging it out with the Wolf Riders and killing most of them, but not really shrugging them off. I think we forgot about the fact that I had a +1 to my combat resolution for most of those rounds, otherwise I might have been able to break them. Next photo, what's happened here is the Chaos Warriors on foot with great weapons have charged the Boar Boys, or maybe they've been charged by the Boar Boys, can't remember. Yeah, they got charged by the Boar Boys, but I managed to pass my armor saves, finally getting some decent luck with combat and managed to kill some of them. So that's raging on quite well. Next photo, there is no next photo. Sorry, that's the end of the game, guys. What happens here is the Chaos Warriors on foot managed to break the Boar Boys, getting some points out of them, but I'm still down a number of table quarters and most of my army is destroyed, so it was a minor victory to him by 12-8. I'm not really sure whether you consider that a solid or minor win these days, but well played by my opponent. I was expecting to lose this game because my army just didn't really have the tools to deal with all of his redirecting units and his Wyvern. So that's it. I'll bring you guys game 5 shortly. Hope you enjoyed this one.